Good morning, family, friends, and shipmates. Today is December 1st. You might be wondering, well, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that today is my very last day on active duty in the United States Navy. It's my last day to wear this uniform. I just want you to know that I've been truly blessed to have served with some of the finest men and women in the world for the last 23 years and 4 days. Not like I'm counting. But I'm grateful to the Navy and to the Navy JAG Corps for all that you've done for me and my family. I'm so very thankful for the many opportunities I've had to grow, lead, and serve. As this chapter comes to an end and I prepare to start a new one, I just want to share maybe a few parting thoughts or a few lessons learned before I officially depart the pattern. Now, I know you're all very busy, but I hope you can indulge me maybe 10, 12 minutes, because after all, this is my last day on active duty. So first, let me say that I am truly a blessed man. Now, anybody who has known me for any length of time knows that I am a blessed man is my routine response to whenever someone asks me how I'm doing. Now, on more than one occasion, I've been asked, well, why do you say that? Well, for those of you who don't know the story, here's why. My father was a Vietnam veteran. He enlisted in the United States Marine Corps when he was in his late teens, early 20s. And then after that, he ended up deploying to Vietnam. While he was in Vietnam, he took a 5.56 round to the abdomen that fragmented and literally blew his pancreas out his back. My father was medevaced back to the States, where he subsequently spent the better part of a year in a VA hospital in Great Lakes, Illinois. Now, I remember my mom telling me how the doctors came to her and said, Mrs. Jones, you'll be lucky if your husband sees 29. My father passed away on May 12th, 2015, just a few days after I had the honor and privilege of telling him that his son had been selected for captain. Had he seen his birthday in November of 2015, my father would have been 69, which is 40 years more than what modern medicine at the time said he was going to have. Now, as you can probably imagine, those 40 years were not a cakewalk when it came to his health. Because he did not have pancreas, his body did not produce insulin. Because his body does not produce insulin, he is a diabetic. And anybody who has diabetes or knows somebody with diabetes knows that diabetes complicates just about everything. But in addition to that, my father had a bout with prostate cancer. Beat it. My father had a stroke. Beat it. My father had a heart attack. Beat it. And had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in a chokehold for the better part of 10 years. And when my father passed away, he didn't die from many of those things. And I remember times during his life that I'd see him and it was clear that he wasn't doing well, that he wasn't feeling well. And I used to walk up to him and say, hey, Pops, how you feeling? And my dad would look at me and smile. And he'd say, son, I'm doing great. How are you? And I remember that used to annoy me because I used to think that my dad was just being prideful. I used to think to myself, okay, yeah, I get it. You're a tough guy. You're a big bad Marine. I get it. But sometimes it's okay to let somebody know that you're not doing well. Sometimes it's okay to say that you're struggling. Sometimes it's okay to not be okay. So I would ask him again. I said, Pops, just keep it real with me. How are you doing? And my pops would then look at me and go, son, I said I'm doing great. How are you? And if I pressed him, my dad would say something like this. He would say, son, the Lord has been good to me. And if it was not for the Lord on my side, I don't know where I would be, but I do know this. He has not brought me this far just to leave me. And it wasn't until as I got a little older that I came to realize and appreciate the lesson that my father was teaching me. I mean, if there was anyone who had a right to complain about life not being fair or getting a raw deal or having to play a crappy hand, it was my dad. Yet he never allowed his circumstances to define who he was, to determine what he could or could not do, or to dictate how he was going to respond when life happened. And life happens all the time. Even when things were at their worst, he somehow managed to see the best. He never allowed himself to be a victim of his circumstances, but instead, every day he decided, operative word, every day he decided to be a victor over his circumstance. And it's because of this great lesson that my father taught me. I am able to acknowledge, regardless of whether things are working for me or against me, whether I'm on top of the world or it seems like the world is on top of me, or whether I'm treated fairly or unfairly, I can always say that God has been so very good to me, and that my ups so far outweigh my downs. And it's because of this, I know that I can look anyone in the eye, whether on my best day or on my worst day, without equivocation, without hesitation, without reservation. I can tell them that I am a blessed man. And I hope that as I say these words, many of you are able to look at your situations and know that you're blessed as well. Now, as you can probably imagine, I've seen a lot and learned a lot over the last 23 years and 4 days. Not like I'm counting. But there are some lessons that I would love to leave behind for those who will be the future of both the United States Navy and the JAG Corps. I mean, lessons like never underestimate the power of kindness and the favor it garners. A simple greeting, a kind word, a thank you can make all the difference in someone's day. Or how about remember that the rank insignia that's on your collar or on your cuff gives you a good morning, sir or ma'am, and a salute. It does not give you respect. That you have to earn daily. Or how about if you ever make a mistake, acknowledge it, even when it is uncomfortable, and work to make it right. Sometimes in doing so, you might be exposed to scrutiny, but at least in the end, you will always have the peace of mind of knowing that you did the right thing. Or how about avoid being a self-serving leader who uses people to achieve their own personal goals and glory. And I know we have all seen those leaders in our career. But instead, be a servant leader, one who empowers your people to reach their full potential. Because when your people shine, their light can't help but to reflect upon you too. Or how about if you're ever assigned to a surface command, wear brown shoes. I wore brown shoes almost my entire time at SurfPac, and I tell you, it was awesome. I highly recommend it. And you know, I have a laundry list of other things I would love to share, but out of respect for your time, I'll save them for some other time. But I also want to say that there are a countless number of family, friends, and shipmates who have blessed me with their wisdom, their love, and their support over the years. Unfortunately, they're just far too many to mention, but I pray that you know who you are. And from the bottom of my heart, I say thank you for all you have done for me and my family. And please know that I am so very grateful to you. I also want to thank all my friends, my high school friends and family who found time in their busy schedules to send me cards and videos congratulating me on my pending retirement. It's really made this time special for me. Thank you so much. To the Golden Jags, it's been a privilege to serve with you. May I encourage you to always remember from where you have come and what it took for you to get where you are. Remember that every one of you is here because of the sacrifices made by those who came before you. You can stand taller, you can see farther, and you can reach higher because you're standing on their shoulders. But as you stand on their shoulders, know that one day those who follow you will be standing on yours. So continue to serve in excellence and with honor and integrity, so that your shoulders will be able to bear the glorious weight of those who come after you. Keep the faith and stay in the fight. We can't change the past, but we can certainly shape the future. And lastly, a few weeks ago, I was asked a question by a senior officer, and he asked me, how can the JAG Corps address the racial divide and tension that currently seems to be so prominent in our nation? This probably isn't the typical thing to address in a farewell speech, but I figured, well, there's no better time than the present. I gave the question some thought, and my answer to the question, it's not profound, or maybe it is, and you'll probably find it somewhat anticlimactic. However, to me, it is actually quite simple, but sadly, yet it's extremely difficult for so many. And it's this: treat others the way you want to be treated. Now, in my humble estimation, and I understand that educated minds may differ, the issue is not so much policies as it is personal biases based upon racial differences. It's if each of us, and I mean if each of us, truly committed to treating others the way we want to be treated, the vast majority, if not all of these issues, would resolve themselves. If you want to be respected, give respect. If you want to be honored, give honor. If you wouldn't make a particular comment or engage in certain conduct around a black counterpart or a Hispanic counterpart or an Asian counterpart, don't make it around your white counterpart, and vice versa. And if you see someone not being treated with the same honor and respect you would demand for yourself, then be man or woman enough to step up and do something about it. Avoiding injustice is not enough and never has been. We must seek to do justice. It's not a reactive response. It's a proactive action. And it's only when we see injustice for one as injustice for all that the rifts that seek to divide us can be mended. Well, this is it. I hope my comments have in some way encouraged you, enlightened you, or blessed you. In the next few weeks, my family and I, we will be moving to Hawaii, where I will be joining the pastoral staff at Inspire Church. So, if you ever find yourself on the island of Oahu, please don't ever hesitate to stop by and say hi. I would love to see you. So again, thank you all for everything and allowing me these 13 minutes of your time. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May he turn his face toward you and give you peace. God bless you. God bless you, United States Navy. Take care.